Antivirus software is specifically designed to detect viruses and protect your computer and files from harm. Symantec, Kaspersky, Trend Micro, Avast, all of these are among the companies that offer highly rated antivirus software packages. A virus signature, if you hear anybody talk about that, all that is a little piece of the virus code that's unique to that particular computer virus. And that is something that your antivirus software searches for when you run a scan. Okay, so you run your scan and it's discovered some malware or a virus. All right, what your antivirus software does is that it quarantines it. All right. What that means is it just places the virus into a secure area of your hard drive so that it won't spread to other files. It sort of like imprisons it. Okay, and then it lets you know it's discovered this, it's quarantined it, and what do you want to do? Okay, at this point, it's really good to do a quick search on like the virus name. Use something other than your computer that currently has a virus, like a phone or a tablet or something, just to look up what's recommended, like what's the recommended procedure for you, depending on what virus your machine may have contracted. Okay, sometimes you can just click remove and it's going to remove the file for you, and that's that. Other times there's going to be additional steps that you'll need to follow to make sure the virus is completely gone from your machine. Okay. A third thing that your antivirus software does is something we call inoculation. Okay. During inoculation, all these different key attributes about your machine and its files are recorded, and then it keeps these statistics in a secure place. Okay, it sort of is monitoring your computer, seeing how things are, and it keeps record of that. Okay, so 3 important, quarantining and inoculation. Very helpful. Virus signature is what your antivirus software looks like when you're scanning stuff for viruses. Okay, there's something called a drive-by download. What this does is basically when a virus exploits some sort of weakness in your operating system. Okay, and this type of attack, known as a drive-by download, affects about 1 in 1,000 web pages. So what happens is you visit a website, and somewhere in there you may click on something, and without knowing it, your computer becomes infected. All right, so it's always good to keep your device up to date. Check that update status, because those updates, yes, Windows loves to update, and it drives me crazy. It takes an hour to do this stuff, but unfortunately Windows has let me just say that Windows is the most susceptible to all sorts of infections. So really keep up with your updates as far as if you're running a Windows operating system. Okay. So how do we restrict restrict access, to our digital assets? That's a lot of A words there. Okay. First of all, strong passwords. So don't use password. Okay, make it something that's difficult for people to guess. There's lots of password generators that are out there available for free, something like the strong password generator. So that'll generate a password for you. It's going to be really strong. You can use that. Okay. You can, there's one called the password meter actually, and you can test your passwords in there, and it'll tell you like how weak or how strong they are. Okay. In order to restrict access to your computer, Windows, Mac OS, and Linux and Chrome, all those other operating systems have built-in passwords or passcode protection for files, as well as to the entire desktop. Okay, and now we have password management tools that are available to help us recall the passwords that are used, because when we're coming up with these really strong passwords, Usually they're, you know, basically, you don't want any dictionary words. You want to make sure you're using upper and lowercase letters. You want to make sure you're using a number. You want to make sure you're using special characters. They're aiming for something that's like at least 12 characters in length. Okay, things that are not, you know, really easy for our human brains to remember. Okay, and yeah, you don't want to write it down. Okay, that sort of defeats the purpose. So these password managers are very helpful if you do end up using a really nice, strong password. When you hear me talk about biometrics, okay, a lot of our devices are now using biometrics in order to authenticate, you know, that you're the actual user. Okay, so it reads some sort of unique personal characteristic, so like a fingerprint or the iris pattern in your eye, and then it converts that into a digital code. So every time you go to log in or use your device, it's going to compare its current scan with what it has, you know, on record as being your iris pattern or your fingerprint or your, you know, face. And that's how it determines whether you're going to be able to use your device or not. Because no two people have the same biometric characteristics, these devices do provide a high level of security. And then there's other biometric devices, so like voice authentication, facial recognition systems. Okay, you can find those in notebooks, computers, your tablets, and your smartphones. You know, and then you have to also think too, there's some debate as far as, again, privacy and control over your own devices. How hard is it for someone's phone to be grabbed out of their pocket and someone to just sort of hold it up to their face? Maybe they are restrained or something of the sort. And then now they have access to their phone just by sort of scanning the face of the actual owner. So that's all I'll say about that. Okay. All right. So let's talk about privacy tools. Okay. As far as your browser goes, we have private browsing, in private, incognito. Okay. What you need to understand about this stuff is that, like it says here in our little picture on the side, the pages that you visit while you're doing private browsing won't be in your browser history. Okay, there aren't going to be any cookies stored. Okay, the search history, all of that stuff, like, it's not going to show that you are on these pages. Okay, once you close those private browsing tabs, if you download any files or you bookmark anything, that will be kept, right? Now, do not think you are invisible. Okay, going incognito does not hide your browser from your browsing from your employer, from your internet service provider, or from the websites that you visit. Okay, very important to remember. When you're you know, sometimes going incognito or private browsing is helpful when you're having a problem with the website. Okay, maybe you're trying to buy something and having issues, which I've had like that kind of stuff before. When you open it up in a new private browser, then it seems like it works. It doesn't recognize that you were just on that site. And so it's helpful for things like that. But don't think you're good to go. Okay. Portable privacy devices. Okay. There's the Kingston personal flash drives. You can look those up. Those offer a lot of privacy. You're able to keep all of your browser history, things like that, like on your flash drive instead of, say, the computer that you use at the cafe or whatever. And then we have virtual private networks, or VPNs. Okay? And what these are secure networks that are established using the public internet infrastructure, right? If you see an ad for a free VPN, don't trust that. It's going to be crap. I'm sorry to put it that way, but it will. In order to have a decent VPN, you're going to pay for it. So something to keep in mind. VPNs are awesome if you're going to be using public Wi-Fi. So anywhere that you go where you plan on using public Wi-Fi, people won't be able to access your data. Your data packets, they travel through the air because you're set up a virtual private network, and so that data is not going to be visible the way it would be if you were just using like an open wireless network. So basically, keep your data safe, reveal as little information as possible. You don't have to fill everything out. You don't have to put the right information. You do not have to put your phone number, okay? Facebook, make sure you go in and change those privacy settings. And Instagram, you're either public or private. Tweets, your Twitter, same thing. Snapchat, I honestly don't know because I have not used Snapchat, but I'm sure you guys are well aware of privacy. Okay, things don't disappear magically. That doesn't happen. So, you need to be aware of that. Just watch what you're posting. Okay, don't put up your full date of birth. Your date and month is fine. Do you really have to put in your year? You don't need to put your phone number. You don't need to put your street address. Definitely don't put in your social security number. Okay. As far as keeping your data safe, backup, 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 backup. Backup everything, but especially backup the things that are most important to you. Pictures, files, maybe your thesis that you wrote or whatever. Back it up, okay? Do 2 types of backup. Have an external hard drive and also backup to the cloud, okay? If you don't, you're at risk of losing pretty much everything. This can happen to you like from one day to the next, and it can be, oh darn it, I meant to do a backup, but you didn't do it, and so you've lost a lot of files. Power surges. Power surges occur when an electrical current is supplied in excess of its normal voltage. Okay, this can be due to old or faulty wiring, downed power lines, all sorts of malfunctions at electric company substations, of course lightning strikes, right? These can all cause power surges. So buying a surge protector protects your computer. Okay. I'm not talking about the 99-cent surge protector at Walmart or at the Dollar Tree or whatever. I'm talking about, unfortunately, yes, the expensive ones like this, okay? So they tell you where to plug things in, okay? And they should protect your equipment in case of a power surge. It's important to replace them every 2 to 3 years. Another bummer, just because after that, power surges happen all the time, whether you're aware of them or not. Okay, they may not be big, giant, strong ones, but minor ones happen. Okay, and so they're dealing with that kind of stuff, and so they their efficiency starts to sort of wear off. Okay, make sure you use with all your devices that have solid state components, because that stuff will just get fried with power surge. Okay, so things like your TVs, your stereos, printers, cell phones, like when you're charging your phone, those things all should be connected because they're using solid state components. Okay, and finally, you have 3 main concerns when you're dealing with your mobile devices. Okay, security. Keep them from being stolen. Keep data secure in case they're stolen, and then be able to find your device if it is stolen. Okay. Make sure you have a password on your phone. Keep it locked. You don't need to leave it open. Okay. Yes, it might be nice if some decent person finds it and calls your mom. However, that's really not the case very often anymore. Keep it locked. Another bonus of keeping it locked, especially as far as like iPhones go, people have a really hard time getting into the phones when they have the passwords on them. Okay, make sure you backed up your data and turn on, Find My iPhone. There's other apps like for Android to be able to locate your phone if you don't have it in your hand. But most of all, keep an eye on your stuff. Pay attention, and hopefully that won't happen to you. Okay, thanks. That's the end of Chapter 9.